Story number 2.
All right, we're live now. What is up?
All right.
Welcome to Black Angus Reviews, the PreSenate Subcommittee, episode 13. And for anyone new that follows me and goes on these streams,
Got monetized.
PreSenate makes sense now because Sith will be doing his stream afterwards at 8:30. So right now, got a small panel compared to normal. Got Miss, a lovely Miss, showing yourself more and more
Woo!
as she gets more confident on
I was
YouTube.
not paying attention. I didn't know you went live, so I'm sitting here like not paying attention.
Yeah, I just kind of ignored your outburst. We'll get through it. But yeah,
By the
say
way,
hello.
I love your hoodie.
Oh,
Say
thank
hello,
you.
Miss, and tell us about your channel and whatever
Okay.
else.
I am Miss Sarcastic Nerd, but you can call me Miss. I have a channel. It's Miss Sarcastic Nerd now since I changed it so you can find me. I have a video up of my review of Brightburn if you want to go check that out. Hopefully I'll have more videos out soon. And if you want to follow me on Twitter, it's at Ms. Sarcastic Nerd.
Awesome. No, I really enjoy that. I was like, see what I do is like, yeah, there's a few channels where I'm always searching, like Kickscape, the High Council, if they've uploaded something new. But I'm always just going through my sub feed, so I'm at least aware of a lot of people that I'm sub to's content, but I can only watch so much. And so I'm going through, and I happen to see, oh my God, Miss made a video. This is strange. I got us, and it's about Brightburn. So let me see if I'm going to be pissed at her, or if she's correct in liking this movie. And of course you were. So I really enjoyed the stream or the video, and I look forward to hopefully a sequel and much joy, happiness. Especially it's Pride Month, so hopefully they release it Pride Month next year or the year after. I'm gonna be super gay about it. Sorry, I'm in war
Not sure how to take that.
I'm in war campaign, so we get Comics Get Gay like every day. So this is the best month of the year right now. Anyway, Roger, been a while. How's it going?
Yes, it has. It's going good. It's getting hot here in Arizona, so Phoenix was like about 102 degrees yesterday, so fortunately I'm closer to Sedona.
I was
So it's a little bit cooler. What's that?
Yeah, I was going to say, aren't you further north? Because I remember we talked about
I'm about 2 hours north of Arizona, or Phoenix, sorry. The heat. Can't think.
No, you're cool, dude. Yeah, so we got some interesting stuff to talk about. We were, Smith, of course, we were just talking about something 3PO covered. He might be coming in here later. We'll see. But he reported on apparently Younglings. Oh, wait. Sorry. I just realized Rhodes Rants joined us, or he was. Maybe he fell.
He was.
We'll figure that out.
He fell through the back hole.
We'll figure that out. But yeah, we're talking about apparently Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, and you assume just Lucasfilm at this point is scrubbing the term Younglings from Star Wars. We'll actually go with Myth. Yeah. So we'll start with this. So apparently it's because the association of the child murders of Anakin. And I think it was Drunk's video I watched. It's funny because he's like, they sell the Death Star Lego set for kids, which is a machine and instrument of death, of genocide. But yeah, you can sell that to your kids, but don't call them Younglings because that's not good.
So by getting rid of Younglings, it's not necessarily considered a post birth abortion. Is that correct? So getting rid of the Younglings. Sorry, Miss.
It's okay. I don't understand though. Like, it's a word. What is with them trying to ban words?
They don't like words. Words are bad.
Welcome to
words of the dark side. What's that?
Welcome to 1984.
Oh yeah, I know. Seriously.
Yeah, it's funny because my video before my somewhat famous Saint Germanus video that Jeremy liked, I did a fake beef with him, and I was having a real discussion, if you will, about like I think Disney to some degree is actually acknowledging fans. They're going out of their way to add prequel merchandise and imagery in their stuff when the previous 4 or 5 years they've essentially ignored my fandom, my willing to pay for new troopers, new this and that, etc. We love all this stuff from the prequels, and they've ignored us. And with the art for Celebration, with Jedi Fallen Order being announced back then, all these little things, it's like, they're never going to directly apologize to us, but they're finally acknowledging us through the merchandise and stuff and future products. And then they go and do this bullshit where they're seemingly trying to scrub away original and prequel fandom and merchandise. Just they're using it to their advantage with like the actors for Galaxy's Edge to boost. But aside from that, they're just trying to distance themselves. And I've actually talked with Rookie Critic about this, where I'm like, to some degree, I don't blame them for just getting away from previously established Star Wars and just starting fresh. But it's because they have an agenda. It's not to define themselves and not be stuck to something so much as they just want to wreck everything and make you forget why you like Star Wars in the first place.
Wasn't there something else that they got rid of, a word they got rid of too from Star Wars? I can't remember what it was. I know there was another word they got rid of.
Hero. They got rid of hero.
Some canon thing that they got rid of. I can't remember.
It's funny though. You're talking about canon.
They're trying to get rid of Siths and Jedi.
Oh, Dark Side.
Dark Side,
Oh,
yeah.
No. That was actually a gag report, I think. It was.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, there was the woman not long after that gag report though that was saying it's racist that Vader is like clad in black and like black is used for like dark side imagery.
Oh my God, cookies are next.
Which is classic. Well, they've already 3PO talked about this with cookies, like racist cookies with black and white and stuff.
Well, no. You know how they say, "Come to the dark side, we've got cookies."
So I want to acknowledge, Rhodes, are you ready to stream?
How
situated?
You
Good.
How you doing?
Can you speak up a little bit or turn up your volume?
Yeah, hold on. Is that better?
Yeah. Can I get your famous line that I always love hearing?
Oh, do you want me to do it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I bought a new laptop, and this was the first time I attempted to get into Hangouts on the new laptop, and it came in, and it was like, oh shit, it's not working right. So I bailed out and grabbed the ghetto laptop and threw it up here and plugged my mic in real fast. So now I'm here finally.
What exactly is a ghetto laptop? I gotta know.
It's a laptop that's like 5 years old that has some black pixelated shit going across the screen, and got 3 keys missing on the keyboard, and it locks up, and the hard drive spins, and you can't have camera software open with editing software, or it locks the whole machine down.
So what you're saying is she's got one good eye and she's missing 3 teeth.
Yeah, it's the millennium. It's the millennium.
It sounds more redneck than ghetto.
Yeah, well, hey, yeah, very possible. Very possible. I'm in rural East Texas, so we stopped just short of screwing our cousins here. Okay.
Oh damn.
So
at least you have standards.
Yeah, you stopped at the aunts and uncles.
Yeah.
Oh God, no! Why do you smell musty? Oh no! Don't answer that.
No, I'm from Southeast Oklahoma, so I understand not being far from Arkansas.
I just want to let you guys know I'm not judging. Not judging.
Yeah, Angus.
Me and Bean Rhodes.
Actually, about half of my family lives in Oklahoma, so yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I haven't been back since I think 2016. No, 2017, because my daughter was born. But yeah, no, I miss it. I miss like the country, but like I tell people, like Squidbillies represents, it's an exaggerated reality. From where I'm from, like the people, like they're not going to try to drive a semi through the ocean to France, but they'll get close to that attempt. I'll tell you that, So it's one of those. I'm at odds with where I'm from because I love like the actual country. People are pretty good-hearted, but a lot of retards. Let me address the chat really quick, and then I'll get your take on this. This discussion. So we got Black Anus Reviews Dicks, my new parody account. Thank you for joining. He says, praise to the PreSenate. Second that. Jeff W., who is the Rookie Critic, he said, Miss is wearing my sweatshirt. You want to... We'll ask Miss about that later. Black Angus Reviews Dick says, if we get rid of the word younglings, then the child murder didn't happen because they don't have the word for children. And then Roger says, it's funny you saying fake beef. Yeah, didn't think of that. That's a good one.
I couldn't resist.
Morgog Skullcrocka. Hope I'm saying that right. Remember when Disney used to kill off characters in their movies? Now they are like the rich sheltered kid who doesn't know reality works. Of course, we got Bianca fights the zombies. What's up? Hail, Bianca. And let's see if there's anyone else towards the bottom. Ricky would join us, but he's working on his skit. Why can't you take a break and just chill with the PreSenate? Yeah. All right, so we're caught up on the chat. Rhodes Rant. So I don't know if you know this, but 3PO report on this, I think from Newsweek. Disney, the Galaxy's Edge ride event, whatever, they are scrubbing the word younglings from the vocab because apparently someone in this article, they said something kind of in joking, like, oh, the younglings, and they're like, no, we don't say that here. And it's because, the child murders. So what are your thoughts on that? Them trying to scrub a prequel term and of course, everything original trilogy you might associate with this is really just a look to draw you in.
Well, they're trying to get rid of everything, it seems like, associated with anything not sequel related in later. It's my understanding there's going to be no Han, no Luke, no original trilogy.
They're doing a good job of that.
Yeah. Well, they're also making sure they don't make any money. It seems like that's the goal here. I just uploaded a video on this, and who are the parents that caused the outrage on this? That's what I want to know. I mean, is this?
Sorry.
I mean, what? Because I read the tweet, and supposedly it was parents that were turned off by the term. Let me present something. What is the name of the movies? It's Star Wars. Okay? Wars. Wars implies there may be people that perish, okay, during said wars. Does Disney have no idea what they bought?
Well, here's the interesting thing about culture and language is we have a term called wage slaves. And if you look at history, at least American history, you look at the slaves, here, you could be offended by the word slaves. We're not going to use the word slave anymore because that's offensive to the African Americans that are, currently living here. But yet we still use the word wage slave, which is like a corporate, servant that's paid very little.
Right.
So younglings, it's more of a cultural thing where it's we don't want to do Star Wars anymore the way Star Wars used to be done. We're going to reinvent Star Wars, which is along the same lines of Disney himself. Walt, he took these stories from the 15th century and converted them into more palatable tales for children. And he took out all the gory stuff. But the gory stuff was in there to tell a specific story. It's telling the kids don't go out in the woods and, basic things, survival, stories. And also, there was a lot of really dark stuff in the original Grimm stories, and he softened them all. And they're doing the exact same thing. They're taking a story that had some grim undertones that was trying to make a point and to tell the story of good and evil. And the current Disney wants to whitewash all that. It wants to take away all the good and evil. They're doing the same thing with Maleficent. They're making her a tragic villain that they want people to feel sorry for or to side with. So they're taking away all this, all the edge to everything, and they're making everything kind of like different shades
Sunshine
of gray.
And rainbows.
What's that?
Sunshine and rainbows.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. It's you're not supposed to be mad at Maleficent, whose very name means magnificent evil, if you look at the Latin. You're supposed to side with her and, blame the white guy that took her wings. All toxic masculinity. It's the patriarchy. He took her wings so he could be king and so he could be in control. And I watched that. I'm like, oh my God, did they really do that? It's like, yes, they did. Now they're making a second movie. It's like, oh, okay. How much further down the rabbit hole we're going to go on the patriarchy here?
You know, though, Roger, I remember you and me talking about this, and you gave me this insight. I was like, oh, I never thought because you know what? I never thought of this because when I saw Maleficent, it came out during when it came out during Captain America: Civil War. I saw Winter Soldier. It came out like 2 weeks apart, roughly, and I was like blockbuster.
Okay.
And so yeah, this was not on people's minds. I don't. Yeah, Ghostbusters hadn't happened yet. So like, besides the comics, no one generally was talking about SJWs infecting entertainment. And so yeah, this never crossed my mind. I think you have a point retroactively. Maybe this was set up that way, but I just took it as, oh well, yeah, it's a white guy because it's in a white universe. I never saw it as like, oh yeah, maybe the fairy tales or something, creatures perhaps, but I don't know. I think it's like
well, look at the character that she had. She was like this good, benevolent person with this evil name, and she gets wooed by this white guy who's a nobody, and then he tricks her and betrays her, takes her wings, which is akin to taking a woman's freedom, or her maxi pads, one of the two. And
it could mean one or the other. It could mean one or the other.
Oh, I did not see that coming.
So it's an attack on women's periods. No. So
any what do you call it? Any SJWs in the chat were wrecked by Roger right there.
Isn't that sad though? Like Maleficent
scarred.
What made Maleficent evil is a good question. What is her motive? What makes her evil is a good story. But really, a bad breakup essentially is what made her evil.
Toxic masculinity.
I actually bought it. Like it was very brutal in my opinion. It was like across since like, oh fuck, this is like a rape scene, if you will, for like a kids movie. Like, it's pretty brutal, and her portrayal. I was like, I bought it. I really think I understand Roger's viewpoint. Maybe he had this all along. I don't know.
It's because I'm straight, white, and male. That's why.
No.
I toxic masculinity embodied.
Perhaps you were someone in the background, like bullshitters were for a long time. They're like one of the few people attuned to this happening from the start, outside of just comics. And if that's the case, then that's awesome. I don't know though if it's perhaps just the culture now.
When I first saw it, I was like, "You got to be kidding me!" I mean, it's like in her very name, you have the word bad or evil. It's Latin, malus. It's where we get the word malevolent.
Just been evil. Why couldn't she have just been evil? Why did she have to have this sort of weird thing happen? Or why couldn't she have just been evil?
Because that's not the picture that Disney wants to paint. They're painting man bad, woman good.
It's stupid.
And she had horns too. She had horns. She had black wings. She was all in black. So it's like, okay, so now kids are being given this alternate image of a classical image of evil being incarnate as, horns, wings, black flying around, stuff like that, magical creatures. So, but that's all, Christianity demonizing Greek mythology. So now they're trying to swing the pendulum back the other way. And they're trying to shift the mythology so they have this new generation of kids that are looking at, the status quo through a different filter or a different lens.
Yeah, no,
I wonder why we can't just our kids. Growing up, we sort of understood that there were just evil people in the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
And our parents sort of taught us how to develop that sixth sense to be able to kind of identify these people, in our life or we may come across. What are we doing to kids if we're sheltering them from all of those like tales, those signs that, even from characters in movies, I don't understand where we're going in society.
Well, the new bad guy is a straight white male, as evidenced in Maleficent. It's also hinted at in The Last Jedi. Luke becomes the bad guy. He's the one that tries to strike down Kylo for no apparent reason other than he's got a touch of darkness. I must strike him down. And this is coming from a guy who basically almost got killed saving his father because he saw a glimmer of good in him. Now he wants to kill his nephew because he's got a glimmer of bad in him. It's like, oh, we don't want to go down that road. This kid's the future emperor. I got to strike him down. So it's the straight white male.
Roger, it's funny. I've had this plan since back in February, and I just put it off, and I've had new stuff come up. But I think I'm going to finish it this weekend. And 3PO really like this. I hope it does well, not just clicks and stuff or subs. Like I hope it's well received and it's thoughtful. I think I had this insight a few months ago of going off what you're saying of why SJWs love The Last Jedi and why they think it's consistent. That's the key thing. And it seems generally, you have people like Chris Knight, that's in our ranks of the Fandom Menace, who is a Last Jedi liker. And, it's like, fine, he's not politicizing this movie to enjoy it. So it's like, okay, disagree on the taste, but cool, you like it. But that's pretty rare. It's generally your like of Last Jedi or hate reveals in some scheme your political siding to some degree. And I was thinking, with The Last Jedi, they think it's consistent, despite Luke, all of the great work he did, the optimism he has for his genocidal father, the motive he has. They think it's consistent when he contemplates killing Kylo, which is like a hero's dilemma, like Batman, where it's like, oh, less people would die if I just killed this bad guy, but then that would put me on his level. They think that's fine because it's a thought crime allegory. It doesn't matter any work you've done. It only matters what you thought. It's like, I think I didn't read, but I know that there's this problem with like To Kill a Mockingbird sequel where it's like they reveal that Atticus is racist himself or something. So it's like Atticus was never a hero because he's racist, and it's like,
what?
Look at the era he's from. That's fine if she wants to take that story.
How is he racist? He was the most understanding guy. I mean, he was,
I don't know.
Sorry.
Ask the author. Yeah, ask the author. I don't know, but that's one of the big things that came out of that book. I remember reading about. But yeah, that's the thing. Like, look at Don Imus, for example. He said the nappy-headed hose joke, and everyone lost their minds, and they wanted him off air, and they just demonized him. And they had no awareness that he had this whole program and charity for underprivileged kids, mainly minorities, that he helped. It was only, you did this one bad thing, so it's demonized. Just like Kevin Hart, it's like, yeah, we need black people in film and representing us and this and that. Oh, but you had this one bad joke 10 years ago? Well, you're out of here. And that's what happened to Luke Skywalker. It doesn't matter that he helped destroy the evil empire. He thought about killing his nephew, reasonably so. And even though he didn't, he thought about it. He's a criminal. His becoming a hermit and just laying, how does Kester put it? Laying on the altar of social justice.
Here's the problem I have. Oh, go ahead.
What are you saying? It was okay that he thought that, or I'm misunderstanding you?
No. Well, with the fact that I don't mind that he thought about killing Kylo.
I do.
in the moment, I don't mind it because it's like, all right, he's like 40 years removed from like the Luke that we've seen. I took it as a like a Batman or a Punisher type of storyline where it's like.
Here's the thing: Batman and Punisher are dark characters, and they come from a past that has warped them psychologically.
Yeah, I'm saying, just to clarify that, I'm saying that Punisher is the extreme justice where it's like I kill evil at its source. Batman is this Messiah complex where it's like he fights evil, he understands it, he suffered it, but he doesn't stoop to the level and kill. That's the defining thing, and so that's the hero's dilemma.
I get that.
Yeah,
but it fits their characters. That's my point. What happens here with Luke, it does not fit his character. I could see him sitting down on the cot and kind of freaking out Kylo a little bit and saying, "Look, I know what you're going through. Let's talk about this." And then I could see Kylo getting pissed off and feeling like Luke's trying to control him. And then, that kind of sets him further along the dark side where Luke is trying to help him and ends up pushing him, without meaning to.
Luke Skywalker would never, ever, 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 in my mind, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but he would never, ever think for a second killing his nephew, the son of his sister, would be the best solution.
Friend.
Even for a second, and his best friend. Not even for a second would he think that. So him doing that was a complete just stab at his entire character, and it wasn't him. And that.
Thank you.
There was no previous indications from his character that would have led us to think he would go down there.
Even in the time in the space that he had been through, that something had changed him even slightly.
I just feel like this is something that's buried deep in the subconscious of Rian Johnson, that something bad happened with him and his dad, where his dad contemplated hitting him over the head with a bottle of scotch or something, and realizing, oh, that's a waste of scotch, and walks away.
Weren't there books where Luke went dark side for a while? There were books that made Luke go dark
that was
side.
the EU.
Yeah, and if they had incorporated that, maybe somehow incorporated those stories, or showed us that there was a point where he lost himself, something happened that made him lose himself, and maybe I would be able to consider that he would think that for a split second. But there is no presentation of him having ever changed who he was, except that, time passed. So when time passes, people's entire character changes without explanation. You have to show us why he would do that, not just do it and then be like, because.
Even when Luke did go dark, from what I understand, I didn't read that those books, but the point he reached was he realized that was inevitable, and that he could never really fully defeat the Emperor because they kept coming back to these clones. And he's like, finally, it's like, okay, the only way to really defeat this is to surrender to it and see where it takes me. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's the understanding I had.
I didn't read the books, I just knew they existed.
Okay. Yeah, but then I don't really follow the EU. I watch the movies. If it's in the movie, it's canon. Anything outside of the movies, it's a good story, and it could be at one time maybe implemented into a movie, but until it does, it's just like a separate kind of side story thing.
There's like a stormtrooper zombie.
Oh God!
Yeah, I tried to
read
that. I read about 10 pages. I'm like, yeah, this is a waste of time. The Death Troopers.
Not to mention all the Chuck Wendig stories.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Don't get me started on that.
Yeah, they didn't give us anything to be like, okay, well, if he went through that, then maybe I can see him going a bit dark and jumping to that conclusion. But he doesn't have any history that would tell us that's something he would do.
Yeah, no, I agree. It definitely wasn't presented well, but in just that scene, that idea isolated makes sense for like, all right, he's experienced Vader. And Vader, like the whole like great arc of Vader and Luke and Return of the Jedi, people don't realize, but it's got a nice little bow. I think it was very strategic. They killed Vader with the lightning and like his suit just decaying, because if he lived,
no, Luke killed him. He took off his mask.
Well, his stuff was already decrepit.
I know.
But I really think it was strategic. I've talked to you, Roger, about this, right? I kind of realized, like, wait a minute. If Vader lived, then Luke would actually be probably fighting the rebellion or the new Republic, because it's like, well, I say my dad, but then they'd be like, yeah, he's committed genocide for 20 years. He needs to pay. And
he's a war criminal.
Yeah, he's a war criminal. Exactly. It's very convenient that he dies, so you don't think about, wait a minute, this is Hitler. This is like the Hitler character of the movies, and he's redeemed.
It coincides perfect with the hero. Sorry, it coincides perfect with the hero's journey, because Anakin is come full circle, and this is a sacrifice to step back into the light.
Yeah, there's that too. I don't hate or anything, but it's just a realization, like, wait a minute, this was strategic. But yeah, Rose, anything else on the Star Wars issue? Or
well, what I'm wondering is if this supposedly was sort of brought about by parents, who's Disney's key demographic for this park? I assumed, maybe mistakenly, it would be freaking Star Wars fans, right? Do you guys know, in your vast stretches of your imagination, any Star Wars fan that would personally be offended by the word younglings because of what Anakin did Sith?
SJWs.
I, again, okay, real Star Wars.
Sorry.
I mean, let's think about that a moment. I mean, I don't know who are they marketing this park to, because I can't imagine a Star Wars fan thinking, "Oh yeah, that shit's got to go."
You know the other thing, Rose. I don't know how much you watch of EVS, being a creator yourself, but months ago, maybe a month or two ago, he did that Star Wars Representation Matters thing, where the author of like Black Spy or whatever, about a black character that ties in with Galaxy's Edge. So like, who do you want to see more in Star Wars books? And it's like a lot of people saying like, we need more fat people that aren't villains. We need mentally ill people who aren't demonized and this and that. And
well, this kind of gets back to what we were talking about before. It's like basically they're supporting people in killing off their future fan base. By supporting all these actors and trying to promote, or not promote, but they're trying to encourage companies from filming in Georgia because they passed this anti-abortion bill. It's like they don't realize that abortions are killing off their future fan base. They haven't really done the math on that, And it's like they're trying to create a fan base that is not going to offer them very much in the future. It's almost like they're trying to kill off Star Wars and any interest in it.
Have they taken a television approach when looking at demographics of original trilogy fans? In television, there's a key demographic that they look at that they feel will spend money. It's 18 to 34. Okay. Did Disney go into a room and say, okay, all these original trilogy fans are like 35 years and up? And I know that's a generalization, but you get the point. Did they just make a calculated decision in a room somewhere to say, we're going to take a publicized hit by pushing all this aside, but the payoff is going to be 20 years from now instead of right now?
Well, that makes sense because now they've got Disney Plus, which is going to be on TV. They've got a bunch of Disney shows or Star Wars shows that they're going to be doing, and probably some made-for-TV movies. They're going to go right to Disney Plus. So that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just wondering if it's like, because television advertisers believe that people over a certain age doesn't want to spend money, which is sort of always, I mean, yeah, you get a little more conservative with your money, but you generally make your most money from the age of, 40 to 60. You've gotten promoted, you're running a company, whatever. I wonder if there's an unwillingness for that age group, that original trilogy age group, to spend money. So let's just sort of push that demographic out the door and market our Star Wars towards everybody younger.
But the toys aren't selling. That's the problem.
That's the thing they don't understand about Star Wars fans, especially original trilogy and older prequel fans, is the one thing we will spend our money on is Star Wars. I mean, yeah, we're more conservative with our money, but we want the merchandise, right? In theory,
Yeah,
in theory, right? Exactly. The Last Jedi was the first thing I'd never bought a single item from. I've got all kinds of memorabilia in my house. But because of that product, I made a decision I would not purchase anything related to that movie.
Okay, I want to just post something up in the chat here. It's an open letter to Disney, and it was written by this guy about the movie John Carter of Mars, and he lists all the marketing mistakes that Disney made for John Carter. Originally, it was John Carter of Mars. They even took the Mars out, and which, in the letter he explains why that was a bad move. I just found that very interesting. But even as far back as John Carter, Disney has been known for making really bad marketing choices. And I think what's happening here is that they do not have a good marketing strategy. And this is one of the problems that Disney is having with Star Wars. They don't understand Star Wars. They don't know how to market it.
I agree.
And they're shooting themselves in the foot at every turn of the corner. They did it with TLJ when they started blaming the fans. They did it with Solo. And it's like Rogue One is like their only example outside of that box. Everything else is like, okay, we'll put in the box of Disney failures. And that's pretty much what we're dealing with.
Well, and I think they've decided to treat the Star Wars films as just any other film that they put out.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I definitely.
Well, here's the thing. It's like you've got someone who starts up a restaurant, and they have a love for this restaurant, and they have an idea, for the restaurant. And everyone comes to the restaurant. They all love the restaurant. They eat there, and the restaurant makes tons of money. And someone comes along and says, "Hey, I like that idea. How about if I buy this restaurant off you?" And they have no idea how to run that restaurant. And so they buy the restaurant thinking, oh, okay, it's already got an established clientele. This is easy. And so they try to follow the same pattern or style of the original owner, but then they realize, well, that system worked for them. This isn't really the system that I'm comfortable with. So I'm going to make little changes. And all of a sudden, the restaurant's clientele starts to, go away because they don't like the new restaurant style. And this is exactly what's happening with Disney.
Yeah, I was telling David Stewart when I had him on a stream, I was like, I've kind of got to the point where it's like, people were definitely coming at me odd where I said the only thing displayed major events or products from Celebration was episode 9 because the trailer worked for me. And with you've had a bad history with EA for multiple series that they've taken over. I've been fine with Madden, and I think they've responded pretty well with that besides their support. That's the only product I fall with EA, but they have a bad history, so don't care about Jedi Fallen Order, especially with the climate culturally of Disney and a white male character with the black woman Jedi master. I see that could be some political pandering or influence the story. You got Ahsoka that Jeremy's like, oh right, we got Ahsoka back in the Clone Wars. I'm like, dude, and I told everyone this. You listen to the words from season 5 that they use for that trailer in the context of today's Disney, with the other female characters saying oh, it's great down here at the bottom of Coruscant, not on top with all those Jedi starting their wars. And Ahsoka's going to be a hero. They're going to completely ruin her. I don't care if it's going to be the same thing. They're like, oh, it's Filoni. It's the Clone Wars crew. They're back. And it's like, well, you saw what they did with Rebels under Disney. They canceled Clone Wars because it was too violent. And you've seen them do this with Lawrence Kasdan with the film style of Star Wars. It's just a prop. It's just to get you folded in where it's like, oh, it looks like something I used to like of Star Wars.
Can I time out real quick?
Yeah.
You just said that they canceled Clone Wars because it's too violent. Yeah. Did you see any of the what was that Star Wars, the new cartoons they did of the old trailer or the old trilogy?
Oh, the Galaxy. I know what you're talking about.
Those things were as violent as F. Those things are super violent. How can they say that the Clone Wars was too violent when you look at the new animation? It's like, wow, okay, that's pretty violent. This is for kids. So
yeah,
sorry.
It's funny. Just a little side thing about that. I showed my wife tried to show because her dad is it's weird because he's an original trilogy guy. He's very complacent. He's just like, oh, more Star Wars, yippee! So he eats all this up, and he has a a hippie to generalize. So maybe he loves the soy that's in the new Star Wars. I don't know, but it's just very odd given his history, and he eats it
for
up.
a lot of people. It's just, it's got Star Wars attached to it.
Yeah, no, I definitely think that, and I'm just like, what? I used to value your opinion because even though he had complaints with the prequels, he valued the story and stuff. He saw like whatever you want to say about the prequels, he valued the story that that they added for the complete arc of Star Wars and new stuff, and he's very smart about Star Wars. And now he just eats up the simple shit.
There's a lot of people that actually miss this stuff. You know, when they're watching a movie, they're just watching a movie. They love the action, and they go, "Oh wow, I never would have thought of that." And they don't look at the hidden message or the hidden agenda, behind it. They just see a movie for what it presents on a surface level. So there's a lot of people, and this is what Disney's probably hoping to draw in the people that will just go along with the program. They don't look too deep. They just look at the surface, drink their beer, eat their popcorn, watch the movie, enjoy it, and go home. So
yeah, well, see, Jedi Fallen Order, I saw that with Clone Wars, and then what's the other thing that they have? It wasn't Galaxy's Edge. There's some other product they released at Celebration. There's like 4 major things. Help me remember. Clone Wars,
Galaxy's Edge or
Mandalorian. It looks great. It looks like it's got some cool modern grit to it. Looks like it might have like that Solo film style, but actually I can see what's going on half the time.
You know what it comes across to me as? It's kind of like a glorified fan film. It's like they got a lot of fan service in there, I noticed. And it's like the way it's shot. I've seen fan films that have the same level of quality to it.
Well, with
I wasn't really impressed.
No context, so it's like, why are you excited? You don't know anything besides it's got some Game of Thrones guy in it, and it's got.
I mean, I saw a full scene. There's a full scene of it that they got bootlegged. It's on YouTube. I put it up on Twitter. I can't remember when, but it has this full scene where it gives you really a lot of context, but just the way it's shot, the way it's done, I'm just kind of like going, oh, okay. I've seen fans do just as good a job, and some of them have been better. So I just, I'm just looking at it going, this is it? This is all they've got? So
yeah, it's supposed to be more of like
shit. Hey, really quick, I just got to say congrats to Drunk 3PO. He is now monetized, so
woo!
Yippee.
Oh, cool. That's badass. Rat stroke.
What's up, DJD?
Hello there.
Hey, DJ.
Hey, what's up, Ben?
Glad to finally get you on a stream. I don't know if you've been on my channel
I was
before,
a little late. Had to deal with some electricity. Fun. Oh, God. Fun day. Tale for another time.
You know what that makes me think of, DJD? Just not really knowing anything about your private life or who you are, your identity, any of that stuff. Makes me think that you're going through some rigmarole. Like, have you ever seen
fighting lethal lightning in an epic battle? That's what.
Have you seen Religulous?
Wait, what? Say it again.
Have you seen Bill Maher's Religulous?
God, maybe a long time ago. Yeah, I did see it.
I love that movie. And there's a scene where he's talking with a Jew, like an Orthodox Jew, and he's like making inventions to work around, to meander around the restrictions of the Sabbath and like work or electricity, all this stuff. So it's like a air powered, like oxygen tank powered wheelchair to get around their precepts and stuff. It's so really, I have an electricity problem. This is like, I'm thinking of this for you. Just over the top. Yeah. How's
I get it
for you? Want to plug your channel before we begin?
Yes, the DJD show. It's new satire. I do parodies, like different kind of parodies. Sometimes music parodies, even. And then general comedy. It's pretty much anime type stuff. So Anime Gate, it's associated with Anime Gate, Weeb Wars, and Comics Gate to comic books, and Star Wars. So yeah, the Fandom Menace. One group of individuals. Some people call it Star Wars Gate too. So that's the main 3 things that I cover most of the time. And then obviously anything science fiction, pretty much. So I've done stuff on Doctor Who, it's fun times, hopefully had by all, and yes, typically a good chunk of it has been while playing video games, so that I try to get the information to people in a different way. I normally don't get that information because they don't care about the news and they don't really, they're like, I haven't got time for that. Who cares about that? So yes, different way kind of doing things. Oh, the other bonus of it is so YouTube doesn't claim all my videos and say, oh, you're being naughty. We don't like what you're saying. And telling people, because it's controversial, you can't tell people not to go see a terrible movie that sucks bad, that they're trying to make a sequel about. I'm not going to say which movie it is, but I think a few people might know which one it is. Yeah, maybe it had...
DJ, you're breaking up.
Yeah, sorry. Maybe it had the... Okay, you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay, cool. All right, badass. So yeah, a certain movie that was terrible that I still can't believe that's the way he gets his name. Oh God, Disney, why?
Okay, I'm gonna post up the Mandalorian. It's a 7-minute clip for anyone who hasn't seen it. I wanted to post it up in the chat.
Okay.
So just throwing that out there.
Senate, no, I haven't seen Dark Phoenix. I'm actually thinking, because I've always loved the X-Men movies besides Origins, of course, so it's just, crap. I've loved them all to certain degrees. Logan is really good, but it's probably my least favorite of them because it's just so oddly placed, and they never really develop towards that, especially with this Phoenix. I'm assuming it's a 90s film. So that's problem with that for me. But yeah, I'm excited about Dark Phoenix despite everything I'm seeing on YouTube about it. I'll make it my own mind. I'm not one of those people who likes to just like something just to be different.
Right.
But no, I definitely give all the X-Men movies more credit than most people will. I might be doing a live stream about that tonight, Raw Reaction.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Is Game of Thrones in the same universe as Iron Man?
Oh no.
Sorry, random.
No.
Yeah, no, that totally threw me off. Is there like after I catch up with the chat, tell me if there's a backstory to that. Dr. Coffinels said he never saw Rebels. He was working on Clone Wars, and Netflix dumped it. Yeah, so I tell people buy physical media because this is where they want to go. They want to go digital and just own everything themselves in vaults. So like, yeah, you buy the digital, but a website crashes or something. Now you got to buy the new streaming service or whatever. And also, if they have a problematic scene like the crows in Dumbo, which I'm a black guy and I love those crows, they're hilarious to me. They scrubbed that shit out, and then they're like, "What are you talking about? That was never in the movie," Yeah, so definitely support physical media, at least secondhand, if you can. I understand if you can't afford it, because the Clone Wars has retained its value on the secondary market. Dr. Coffinels also said Bill Maher is a douche. Perhaps, but I value Bill Maher. He is perhaps an SJW, if you want to call him that. He's really just a liberal who has discourse, has dialogue. We need to, even if we disagree with them, we need to support them or value them or show, like, hey, I appreciate you not being a soy boy, and debating Ben Shapiro and Coulter. However you feel about any of those people, he debates them and stuff. He has them on his show. He doesn't hide them away or anything. So I value people like that I disagree with.
He's a bit of a diva, though. Bill Maher.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, and I'll tell you something about Bill Maher. And I've been watching him forever. He hates social justice warriors.
Oh yeah.
He can't stand them. Yeah. So I mean, sometimes people try to lump him in with that, but he loathes.
That is not what I heard.
Social
I've seen him have some SJW moments, though.
I mean, maybe I'm the only. Am I the only one that leans left on the panel? I guess.
No,
probably.
I'm moderate to left. I'm moderate to left. So.
Okay.
I'm dead center moderate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I always tell people this, and I describe it this way: if I was in California I would be a full-blown Republican. In
Yes,
Texas,
that would be
I'm
accurate. Mhm.
liberal. Okay.
In Texas, you're a liberal.
Exactly.
You would be surprised how many liberals are where I am, though, in Texas.
You know,
Relative to location.
yeah.
Central Texas is very liberal.
Yeah, Bill Maher cannot stand social justice warriors. I can tell you, and I always try to tell people, do not confuse liberals with social justice warriors. That's two separate animals. The liberals I know aren't fucking crazy. Okay,
Would you know though?
They're
Would
not
you know?
by those things that they get so caught up in. You know. It just I don't know. I don't know what those guys are.
Well, it's kind of like the rainbow on Black Angus's picture. You know, there's varying degrees. You know, there are many colors of the spectrum.
No, they're in a spectrum, all right, a very special spectrum. I'll say it that way. So nobody gets demonetized.
Bill Maher. Proper Jeremy says, I'm surprised at the amount of conservatives here in Hollywood. They're just all in the closet. Jeremy would know.
Clint Eastwood is not in the closet.
No,
Get off my lawn!
Clint Eastwood's, I would say center, mostly. Maybe a little left on certain things, but yeah, he's pretty center.
He's pretty hardcore conservative. So, I mean, the interviews I've seen with him, he's pretty hardcore conservative.
Yeah,
especially in California.
I'm about to pull it up. Let me see.
You're about to pull on what?
I'm about to show you all this some parody or what have you that Kay, otherwise known as Black Anus Reviews Dicks, has done with the Face app for us. So
I've seen that.
Here we go.
That's great.
So are y'all seeing? Okay, so let's go to this one. We'll scroll up.
I love it.
I'm waiting for it to.
Female Black Angus is hot.
I'm digging Sith. You know, it's funny that he did this with Sith because I was joking about Bree Kryptonian.
Oh my god!
I might do that because the glowing eyes are like, you know, Captain Marvel.
It looks like an evil Sinead O'Connor.
Oh, come on!
Well, that really does work for him, her, they.
Have you seen female rookie critic is cute?
Oh god!
I'm sorry.
If it would pull up, I would show you.
Jeffette is adorable.
Jeffette.
He's totally adorbs, guys. No, really, totally adorbs.
Oh my god! If I wasn't straight.
Yeah, Iron Wolf's looks weird because they like cut the top of his head off. So. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Maybe I got too many tabs up. It's just it's going too slow. But
hopefully my audio fixed. If it does,
yeah, go follow K at TimeLord3E, and you can go see those. A little commercial break. For Pride Month, I have my little avatar, my gay avatar for Pride Month. You can purchase that on a t-shirt, on a coffee mug, or a sticker to show your pride, both for being gay or LGBT, whatever. Additional letters you want to add, and also supporting your favorite Angus of color. You know, put that sticker on your car. You're like, hey, who's that gay guy on your car? And you're like, oh, check out his channel, dude.
I don't want rocks thrown at my vehicle, thank you. I'm in freaking Arizona.
Yeah, and if anyone's curious, I've titled this merchandise line Black Gayness Reviews.
Oh wow! You're trying to upset even more people. Good job.
You know, Angus, you give new meaning to the word plug in YouTube.
But yeah, go check that out. And also in the also in my Teespring, you can get the Drunk 3PO Captain Marvel edition shirt, and if you get that, half of the profits go to Drunk's charity. He'll be leaving next month actually to help build more on that orphanage in El Salvador. So get that. Have him wearing a Captain Marvel shirt, making a silly face, be like, "What the hell is that?" And perhaps more can go towards El Salvador and future charity. Sustainable projects that his charity works on. So yeah, look into that. And so I'm going to segue now into my first patron. He purchased the Sith tier, $10, and anything $5 or over, you have the chance to, well, $10 or over, you have the chance to ask questions for the panel. His question, let me pull up on Twitter really quick. And we'll start with DJD, since he's newest in here. Thomas, there he is. All right. So he asked, what is the future of YouTube given all the monetization? Has YouTube gone woke too, like so many other things in pop culture? So yeah, start DJD, your thoughts?
All right, the future of YouTube, at least the way that they're trying to beat the can all over the place with, is at least Article 13, the ramifications of that in 2 years when they fully implement it on YouTube. We're getting hints of it already, at least with this. This might be why they're doing it, because they want to, make everything family friendly and safer leading up to that. That way they don't have to worry, oh, someone put some naughty pictures up from Twitter or somewhere else, so we don't have to worry about it because the filter will take care of it. Oh, someone said a bad word. Oh, that's taken care of because of the filter. So anything that's offensive or negative in their mind, I'm sure they will rip it right out of your video. So everything will be safe and perfectly controlled by YouTube.
Oh my God.
Years. In about
it's
2
going
years.
To be like Demolition Man in the future.
I already got hit a little bit in one of my videos for a GIF. That was the best.
You guys saw
I just
Demolition
ran
Man
by on Twitter,
Sorry.
and that took out the video. It was
no,
ridiculous.
I've never seen Demolition Man.
Okay, Demolition Man in the future. You've got cops that are singing to hot dog commercial jingles. There's no music. There's commercial jingles playing on the radio, and you've got cops in the squad car singing along to them, going, "Oh, that's my favorite commercial jingle." I'm going, "Oh my God." And I'm listening to what DJ's saying. I'm like, "Oh my God, it's the same thing." It's like the future of Demolition Man, where everything has been kind of dumbed down and made child safe, and you can't use naughty words in the squad room. You get deducted, or you get fined for that.
You get demonetized. Wait a second, what just happened?
Yeah. It's like, holy shit. Oops, can't say that. But yeah, and it's a weird society. They don't eat meat. There's no swearing allowed. And you don't have music to make you sad. Oh, sex has been reduced to virtual sex. So no one actually has physical sex with each other. You have virtual sex. So everything is safe.
Yeah, I forgot how scary that film was.
Yeah, it's pretty freaky because it's happening
right Disney. Now. Sorry. I got me on my wires crossed for a minute, for real.
Oh. Yeah, it's freaky. We need a Wesley Snipes to get woken up.
So Miss, your thoughts on this, on Thomas's question about censorship and whatnot.
What did he ask again?
Yeah, I'll read it. One moment. Boom, got my phone. All right, it says, what is the future of YouTube given all the monetization? And then he's talking about the adpocalypse. And then he says, has YouTube gone woke too, like so many other things in pop culture?
Oh, YouTube's been woke for a while, in my opinion, with some of the videos that they say are trending and on their platform and just the way they handle things. Of course, they've gone woke. And as for the Vox monetization stuff, I don't know a lot about that. But I think the thing is about YouTube is the point of it was for creators to share things like their abilities as artists or just their opinions in general. And if you're not allowed to do that anymore on YouTube, then what is the purpose of YouTube?
Well, I'll just wait till I get asked. I'm always jumping in.
I was going to go for last so new people can get in. Rhodes Rants.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's over. Of course it's going woke. It's Gillette has, and McDonald's and Budweiser now, and everybody else, and that's where our society's going. YouTube put out a. Did anybody see the YouTube some kind of celebration video? Something they did like the end of last year.
Yes.
Oh, I know you're
made
talking
fun
about
of a lot.
Will Smith.
Yeah, they showed creators on there. I mean, all you had to do was sort of take a look at the creators they were shining a spotlight on, and you realize, yeah, we're screwed. I mean, if you have a more, I guess you could call it a sensible way of thinking, your speech is going to be neutered, for lack of a better term, on YouTube. Yeah. I watch a channel called Blue Collar Logic. Does anybody else subscribe to them?
No, I don't even do construction.
Yeah, well,
Oh, wow.
Sorry.
A guy's got a channel where he is a former Democrat who has went to the other side, and he lives in California. And he originally started on Facebook. Well, he got pushed out of Facebook and come over to YouTube for this exact reason that you're seeing now starting to rear its head on YouTube. They're going to do this across every platform. So I don't know that we can do anything about it. I think that's where society is trending now.
Yeah. It's
I
like fashion, it's going to run its course.
I hope. I mean,
well,
really
you look at the 60s. You had bra burning, you had the women's movement, you had sexually liberated women and that wanted to speak out and talk about things that they want to talk about. And then, the 70s had its thing, the 80s had its thing, the 90s had its thing. And now you've got the new millennium, you got the 2000s. So it's got its thing. So each generation, each decade, let's say. I mean, look at the 1920s. You had the flappers. They wore clothes that were contrary to the public norm, quote unquote. So they were kind of like wild and outrageous. So every decade has its crazy women, and they have their own kind of movement. They have their own ideologies and stuff. And then the next decade, it moves on to something else. Same thing with guys. Guys have their thing each decade. So
yeah, men have periods now.
Stop it.
Really sensitive right now. Don't.
My nipples are so hard right now.
Oh my God. If you start lactating, we got a problem.
Oh shit, we got Bree Kryptonian in the house.
And speaking of, yes indeed.
Don't insult my queen.
Angus, are you menstruating right now?
Oh my God.
No. Actually, it's funny you even mentioned that. I was having a conversation with the Senate in the chat, and he says something about he was responding to Roger about beating the meat, and I was like, yeah, exactly my thoughts. He's like, yeah, I got to beat it. It's a daily ritual. I'm like, that's cute. It's an hourly ritual for me because I'm a man. And he had a good retort.
Sounds like you have prostate cancer, actually.
So it takes you an hour to get back in the swing of things?
No. I mean, it's a.
I know. I'm sorry. It was just bad joke.
Wait. Is it just your meat you're beating?
Good question. You have to find out.
It's not meat. It's beef.
I don't want to find out.
Gotta tenderize the beef. Anyway, sis.
Watch out for them horns.
I think the horns are the point.
You're gonna get the horns, that's for sure.
I think it would behoove us to move on from this subject.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it might get someone demonetized.
Oh my God.
So Thomas asked.
Sorry, miss.
but for Seth, he was asking if YouTube's gone woke, like a lot of other stuff, and what's the future of monetization. So get your thoughts on that.
I think the future of monetization, outside of a select few, and the big media companies, the future of monetization is via third party. So PayPal, donations, and third party streaming sites like Streamlabs. I predict that in the future of YouTube, it's going to be it's going to be very rare to see somebody get more than the minority of their profits from their online content from YouTube itself. I think they're shifting away from that, and they're shifting towards, advertiser friendly, status quo friendly, aka anything that is approved by like the Silicon tech bubble, which is so far left. So yeah, the profits on YouTube are going to come elsewhere from third parties.
Yeah, I'm just wondering how it's going to work with like BitChute, because I think you're already seeing it. There's a flood of people running over there right now in prep, but it's like, besides just uploading the same shit to two sites, I don't know how much invested people are going to be until YouTube shows left to right, and it's like BitChute, they're kind of, I guess, the Gab of like YouTube.
Well, Angus, here's the thing, like, people talk about, YouTube's messing up, there's going to be a competitor, an alternative that's going to rise up. But I was making this point on Rookie Stream. Are we so sure that a platform big enough to rival YouTube is going to look any different? They're also going to,
what I'm saying? Yeah, that's what I was going to get to, is that, like, yeah, I totally agree with that point you made. We have to make our stand here and only fall back to BitChute. Yeah, totally set yourself up that way you can just start uploading already and get whatever views you can for however it works on BitChute as well as same content. But no, we gotta make a stand and at least we gotta draw a line somewhere. You can't just give up, because then it's like, well, you've lost a platform now you're like seeding.
Well, here's the thing, though. I mean, it's like when Velcro goes bad, it doesn't stick anymore. And this has been
wait, Roger. Are you wearing diabetic shoes or something right now? Is this why that Velcro's on your mind?
Oh my God!
Hey,
are you gonna go there with that? No, but I mean, it's like waves. You ever watch waves at the ocean? They roll up on the beach and then they leave a few shells behind, but then they roll back to where the ocean line is drawn. It's the same thing. What? Miss said something. I don't want to miss it.
I want you to talk dirty.
Okay. Mud.
To me, Grandpa.
Okay, you remember back was it like last year, women were exposing their nipples and they were trying to make a point, no pun intended, and then you stopped hearing about it. It just went away. That was a wave.
Well, they would eventually.
And now you've got women that are stripping down naked, as if the breast didn't get enough attention. Now they're going to go full Monty, and that's going to go away. Bra burning.
That's sad.
Bra burning in the 60s, it was a thing for a while. It was highly publicized. All the young women were into it, and it was to broadcast a specific message. Do we remember what that message was? No. Do we remember what happened? Yes. So it's the same thing that's happening now. And YouTube is no different. It's just another broken toy that's going to end up in some kid's little box when he goes to college. This is just another symptom of the wave effect. So I don't think we have to worry about it so much as just look at it for what it is, what it represents. It's a group of people, small group of people that are trying to create their own little clubhouse, and they're going to exclude everybody to the point where they're not going to have anybody left in their clubhouse. It's like, Nazi Germany. If the Germans had their way, imagine if everybody on this planet was white, blonde-haired and blue-eyed. well, then you're going to start splitting hairs. You're going to start looking at people and going, your blonde hair isn't blonde enough, so you're excluded. Your blue eyes aren't blue enough; they're too dark or they're too light, so they're going to get excluded. And it's just, over time, it's like it's going to consume itself, and then it's going to be left behind, discarded, and forgotten.
But that's used to dehumanize people usually. The physical differences between people is usually used by people of power.
Yeah, but that's a symptom.
To control people.
That's a symptom, though. It's people's insecurities. It's created from their fears that they're not going to be able to. And this gets back to our base psychology of I'm not going to have enough to survive. These are survival instincts. I want to have enough for me, myself, and my own. And so I'm going to try to put myself at the top of the food chain and exclude as many people along the way as I can so that there's a clear path to the top for me. And that's all this is. But this is more of an ideology. It's not survival. It's I want to have the dominant ideology because I'm not significant enough in my own life. So I have to create something that gives me significance. And this is basically what we have. I've stopped talking now.
Yeah.
No.
Sorry.
No, I was about to reply.
It's a very polite panel today.
No, I just saw this reply. Sith probably saw it as well on Twitter. I don't know if it's true, and it's questionable because of I don't know what this original tweet is that I'm somehow tagged in because the original tweet's gone. But a Gay for Gray says they tweeted out back in March but scrubbed it shortly afterwards, and he shows a picture, a supposed screenshot from Disney. It says, "Great news for the LGBTQAIP what the fuck community. A little bird told us that Woody will be openly bisexual in Toy Story 4. He's got a friend in him. Hashtag Toy Story 4.
Ew.
But it says at Diz.
Who's in him?
a friend. Is in him.
Oh God.
I don't know if this is real.
Well, this sounds deep.
No, I actually I was tweeted.
All right.
Sorry, miss.
Actually, I was tweeted in the. My God, DJ.
Wait, did you not know who was coming on today?
No, yeah, I was actually tweeted the original, and it was linking to an article that was just talking about it. And I replied, I was like, "Are we really surprised with a name like Woody? Are we surprised Woody likes Woodies?"
Yeah, he's got wood. Yeah.
Oh my God, that means thousands of cars from the '60s are gay.
Hold on a second. Since when? Isn't he a toy?
Yeah.
He's a sex toy now. I think this conversation is splintered.
Oh.
Oh no!
Now we get to the root of the problem.
We need to get Iron Wolf and Stig together on a panel and then just go back and forth.
I think this conversation needs to branch out.
Oh my God.
I think you're barking up the wrong tree, though.
Yeah. No, proper Jeremy. I agree. I think it's false. I don't know. Sith, was that you that originally was tweeting this thing that person responded to?
No, he tweeted it and tagged me, and I just replied.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what the original tweet was.
It was just a link to an article talking about the tweet you just showed.
Okay. Yeah. So the weird thing is it says at DizNep instead of Disney.
Yeah,
So
I think it's fake. He's got a friend in him, gimes it away.
Yeah, I don't think Disney would tweet that out.
I almost thought you said Disnips.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
but no, I wouldn't be surprised.
You're really milking that, huh?
We've had Pando Lando, so I mean anything's possible with Disney.
I'm just trying to stay abreast here,
Proper says he is not. He is not.
Roger, we're really going tit for tat.
I don't think toys should have a sexuality.
Listening and lurking, silly nipples.
Silly nipples.
And Angus is demonetized.
Nips are cute for kids.
Dude, you should listen to that stream clip from Wednesday I put up. It's the title is The Anus of Robbie Rodriguez, and digital dicking.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah, it's a fun little highlight from the stream. I definitely encourage everyone to go see it after this. After the Senate, it'll be nice to Seth. It was a fun time. Yeah, it was a fun time.
Yeah.
You
poor
finally
miss.
given
I'm
me a
sorry.
reason, Seth. You finally give me a reason. So everyone now will be like, why is it called the pre-Senate?
Yo, why is it called the pre-Senate?
It's like pre-cum.
Oh,
I was going to say that, and I said, "Oh, let me not do that." But someone else, of course, said it because it's this panel in particular.
Yeah.
That's menstruating.
Mary says misogyny.
I love massages.
Well, hopefully it's not toxic and acidic. That would be terrible.
Hey, Seth,
massaging
Seth,
Danny? What?
Seth, did you see the face app swap that Kay did for you for your
No.
avatar?
Oh, I'll put it up.
Yeah, it looks great.
Did he tweet me it?
I don't know.
Maybe.
He tagged me in it, and then he made sure I saw in the chat as well.
Oh, I just saw it. Oh my god.
Talk about Brie Kryptonian.
Oh God! I'm telling you, it's dark Sinead O'Connor.
I'm gonna present it. Hold on.
Let me present.
Ooh, my profile picture looks dope with a beard.
Yeah, it does actually.
Yeah. I think they added more facial hair to me, and then of course they added it to Rookie, which is weird because I told Rookie, like, dude, you need to grow a beard, dude. Just embrace the basement dweller in you.
The male version of me is ugly as hell, though.
Let's see it.
No.
Come on.
Dude,
I don't know where it is
kind of hot.
actually. Kay would have to send that to you if you wanted to show it, but I don't. There's Ricky.
Oh my God!
He's got a very nice trimmed Al Borland beard.
I'm sorry. That just looks like false advertising.
Oh my God! I bet, dude. I can't wait to see reports of all the false advertising on Tinder and shit.
Mm-hmm.
First of all,
talk about bait and switch.
Who's baiting?
There's Lee.
Ooh,
Wow.
well, let's move on from that one.
There's Geek. Looks fucking nothing like him.
Yeah, they're just putting pictures of girls and saying it face swapped.
There's the chat.
Chad looks pretty good as a chick.
I'm telling you, you can change the body, but you can't
they
change
changed way
the
too
scent.
much on that one.
There's
No way.
Lethal.
Oh.
There's Proper.
Oh, dear. Well, that's not too far from the truth, right there.
Yeah, I was gonna say which one's the swap.
Mm-hmm. That's accurate.
That's actually too close. You know?
Oh my God!
Wow. Yep. That's
That's
accurate.
just Jeremy shaved.
Pretty much.
Wow.
Yeah.
God, that's rough.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta pass on Ricky. It's too.
Oh boy.
It's too.
Oh
much.
no, there was more. Hold on, there's one of Anna.
Rookie just looks like a bad natty on the wrong side of town.
There's Anna.
Oh shit! Let me present you again.
Sorry.
Boom. There you go.
Anna.
That kind of looks like Brian Young. Oh damn!
Oh no, there's no.
It's the eyes.
That's rough, no. Yeah, they didn't. Some of this
Proper again.
is closer to Photoshop than.
Oh no, that's Jeremy. That's what Jeremy would look
Yeah,
like.
that's kind of close.
I won't share it, but Kay
I'm sorry. What was the topic again, Angus?
Kay sent me,
Yeah, there's proper Jenny.
Oh jeez.
No, Kay sent me yours.
Oh God.
That's Mister.
No.
Oh, it doesn't look bad.
It looks awful. Are you kidding?
Okay, I'm looking at it closer. Yeah. Never mind.
I look like a
Oh
monster.
boy. Ooh.
But yeah. Anyway.
Oh God.
Mm-hmm.
She's like,
Ivan.
Mecca looks like a beta male.
oh yeah, she's taking like a soy boy picture. Yeah.
Ivan.
Oh God.
But anyway.
Yeah, I don't agree with some of these. Those are not accurate.
Proper says, "Why am I Grace Randolph in the other photo?" Which,
That's just what Facebook says.
Rookie says, "What the?" And then Mary says, "I am an ugly man."
I am an ugly man too, Mary. They can't seem to do the female to male transition on their
Yeah,
face.
they're very bad at that in general, I noticed.
Well, something a friend of mine said about RuPaul is like he's a beautiful man but an ugly woman.
Way on that one. But yeah, transition.
I'm still being presented.
Oh
Stop
God.
presenting me.
I'm not presenting you anymore.
Yes, you are.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, I'm
right,
seeing that on the phone. Definitely present
Alright,
you.
now you're not. So, Wonder Woman 84. I thought of making a video, but I'm like, DCU sucks. It's not worth my time.
Are we going to talk about Godzilla?
No.
I actually saw it. Oh, come on.
I saw it too.
Well, I don't know if the whole panel. Miss wants to go see it, so I just don't want to give her.
Oh, okay.
Want to go
Oh
see
my
what?
God, Miss.
Wonder Woman 84.
Get out of the
Wonder Woman
basement.
What I have not seen. What are you talking about?
Godzilla.
Godzilla.
Godzilla. Oh yeah, I need to see it.
Yeah. How many of y'all saw the very prideful Wonder Woman poster?
I
it was
did.
Complete.
She looks like a mix of Captain Marvel and Aquaman.
Yeah, that's what
Exactly.
I said in my video. She looks like it came straight from Aquaman.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's sad.
I mean,
It's sad.
Someone else said
I
they didn't
expect
even
more.
realize that was her. When it
It's
first
Blunder
popped up on
Woman.
the rails.
Oops.
No, it definitely was a blunder.
It was
All right.
awful.
Yeah.
Let me address proper Jenny in the chat. It says boo Godzilla. I don't know if you actually saw it proper. I have an opinion. Yeah, I think it's meh, but it's meh because I went to go see it. See, I didn't grow up with Transformers. All right, so when I saw original Transformers movie, I'm like the Shia LaBeouf, I'm like, yeah, it's fine. I don't see a problem. And I'm not invested, so I've never went back and watched the old shit and understood the personal investment of Transformers fans. But I've always loved Godzilla, and this has always been a problem for Godzilla. Too many goddamn humans in the story, and that's the problem with this one. Is like the action's superb, but yeah, it's pulled down by the humans. That's
I know. I watch the old movies. There's a lot of human scenes in those movies.
Yeah, no. I know that like the original Godzilla, like people complain about 2014. I mean, people, it's like that's kind of how the original one is, that they're being faithful to some degree. But moving forward, yeah, it's like this is the sell, especially in today's age with CGI and stuff. You don't have to mask effects and stuff anymore, or like you're filming with real people in set, so it's like more money. But with CGI, you can make whatever the fuck you want. And so it's like, all right, you don't have the excuse to not keep showing me monsters all day now.
Okay, you know what? I'll shoot a video of two kids playing with their Godzilla monsters for like 2 hours, and I'll send it to you. How's that?
I
It's
don't know.
not the same. That's not the same.
Yeah, Angus, you're making a good point because the CGI in that film was phenomenal.
Yeah, but I gave it like a 5 out of 10 because like I want to see the future stuff, and I'm like, it keeps going back and forth with those very, I would say, not compatible for long term. Like the plot works fine enough for the sci-fi it is, but it just they put too much in it, and the like eco-terror shit doesn't make sense for like a motive for a main person. It's just like, what the hell?
Actually, it does. From the point of view of Terrence or of
If they're setting it
Charles
up with that
Dance
for the pollution monster in the future, maybe.
No.
God, no,
Well, I
not
think
that one. Not
I think
that
with the character that Charles Dance was playing, it made sense for him. What didn't make sense for me was the mother. If they had gone to the point where it's like
That's what I'm
she had
talking about.
lost her.
But
Yeah.
don't give it way too much because
Okay. Sorry. Yeah.
we're talking
I'm
general.
trying not to.
But going back to I don't want to keep on with it because we'll say something and
Oh, right.
And then I'll lose my mind. Watch.
I
You
think-
don't want to see that.
When you look at the older movies, the monsters represent something that is hidden within human psychology, if you want to use the word psychology. But there's something about the monsters that represent something about humanity. And I think they're trying to bring that out in the new movies. And I think that's the thing that a lot of people are missing. They just want to see monsters fighting.
I love that part because I hated it in the 1998 Godzilla where it's like, no, he's like he wasn't even Godzilla. Like he was just a lizard that got radiated.
Yeah,
it looks like a T-Rex. Like
that's the Godzilla movie that shall not be named.
Yeah, I don't consider that garbage canon.
I
for a
disagree,
Godzilla film.
just for the fact that I love the design. It's my favorite Godzilla design.
Ew.
I think Godzilla 1989 was represented best by Jean Reno's disappointment of not getting bagels when he got donuts. You know, that was it.
That went over my head like a kite.
Moving on, because I got sent here for a short amount of time.
Yeah, I'm actually
I don't want to get bogged down too much with the Godzilla talk, especially with Miss not knowing. We talk about it in the future, another stream with Miss. 1980 or the 84 Wonder Woman looks like crap. I said this. I thought I'd doing a video a while ago when Zachary Levi. I'll just put this in terms of how I was doing this. Right, so had the Captain Marvel debacle with Rotten Tomatoes covering for her film. And clearly being on the payroll of Disney to some degree. Then we learn there's like 5 or more executives of Rotten Tomatoes or Fandango, former Disney employees. And then you had this stuff where like Zachary Levi comes out of nowhere defending Captain Marvel, saying, "Hey, don't boycott or this or that. Like this isn't helping anything." Like he white knighted for Captain Marvel. It's like, all right, maybe he's just unaware. He's only following like the media, but then he has more interaction with people on Twitter. And he still covers for it. And it's like, what the hell are they doing? Because for first of all, Rotten Tomatoes is owned by Fandango, which is owned by I think NBC. And Warner Brothers. So it's like you think they would use this to their advantage for Shazam coming out next month at the time. That was weird. But I said because learning his history with Marvel, he has a background with Marvel and Disney. So he could be a sleeper cell on with James Gunn being hired over there for Suicide Squad. You got Armie Hammer originally was supposed to be Batman in like 2008, and then he
my god,
rumored again, and he's had articles saying that, like white masculinity is scary, and so
god,
Batman.
Well, that just killed it for me.
And of course, Gal Gadot, even though she's pretty cool and she didn't fall prey to like Ezra Miller's thing, trying to pressure that interview, she's still like, yeah, I'm cool with Wonder Woman being bi and this and that. It's like it's these little tidbits where it blows up. Wonder Woman can be bi. That'd be fine. I think that's in some of the comics. But given the climate we're in, this is concerning.
You have to understand, Wonder Woman's creator was written by was a guy that was a psychologist that lived with 2 women. And a lot of her early comics expressed her as kind of getting into S&M, B&D. Mm-hmm. So, she's a highly sexualized character in her early form.
Yep.
And she was written that way. And she was actually characterized. Her character was based on the third party of his relationship with his wife.
I gotta hop off really quick. Hop off.
You're fine, Miss. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, I'm gonna bounce too, Angus, because I gotta prep.
Yeah, I told you to prep this shit beforehand, man. But fine, gotta get you on here again.
It runs smoothly.
Yeah, if I don't get food now, I'll never get food. So.
Oh god.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye, Miss.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just a lot of people, they argue about a lot of these characters, and they don't bother looking back at their origins. So.
No, yeah, I understand that origin, but it's like, all right, it's progressed. She's so ingrained in culture, and I would say that ingraining has nothing to do with any awareness, despite it's there so you can sneak it in if you're aware later as like someone pushing it. I think the reason that is ingrained, for one, it's just like one of the few token female characters, I would argue. Like, she's a good character, but there's a tokenism to her for being one of the few successful females that's lasted for like 80 years. Being in league with Superman and Batman as well keeps her going. But no, it's yeah, like it's mainly with the Armie Hammer thing where it's like they're looking for this guy to be Batman, one of the most iconic male characters in fiction current day, in our current mythology. And you want this guy that like detests everything that Batman makes Batman, being a white male that's strong,
that doesn't bother me as much as when they take a character and they throw it out of context, like with Luke Skywalker. I don't really care what the political leanings are of an actor or actress. Can they act, like Alec Baldwin? I don't agree with him, but I'll go watch a movie because I think he's a great actor. He's brilliant.
I don't know. It's all about management. DC doesn't know how to manage people. Like you've seen with Ezra Miller in that interview, trying to course, Godot. I think he did as well, like a actual panel or something. Chris Evans, to me, is full, like, he's not liberal, he's a libtard. You know, he's calling he's going along with like the just ridiculous negativity towards the Covington kids, and he just falls prey to anything in the media, which is sick. Yep. But that never crossed, even though it never crossed into his portrayal of Captain America, American icon in our mythology. Yeah. As opposed to like DC, it seems there's no restraint. So it does matter for actors if it's DC at least. Now, maybe in the future with, like you've seen with Marvel, Captain Marvel, she's like, this is my form of activism. And then the director's like, oh, this is a humanist and feminist film and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, this is just some popcorn bullshit, you know, that you should just, you know. That's the crux of any of these superhero movies. You can make them deep and cerebral like Nolan does with Dark Knight, but they still don't skew you politically. They give you a political setting to pick apart and pick your side or think about. But that's the difference, you know. DC isn't working well, and so when they cast these people, I see it as a step in the wrong direction. And you know, you think DC's been political free? No, they're going to go the same way as Marvel. And you see it with this Wonder Woman poster. They've held off till Pride Month to put out this very colorful picture. Like, this is planned, and she's desexualized to a degree in that Aquaman suit.
I don't understand. What's the reason for the change in her outfit? You know, how are they explaining it in terms of the movie or the character?
It might just be a poster,
of the political stuff.
Oh, okay. I hope it's just a poster, and because at least the stuff they've leaked. It doesn't look like she's wearing something like that at any point.
Okay.
That's my hope. But if that's actually how she is in it, that's going to get a lot of memes and get made fun of a lot.
Well, it doesn't make sense either, because she's from a society that was like protected by the gods and in communion with the gods. And she wore this battle suit, and she just has a sword and rope and shield. Yeah, they're enchanted or whatever, but still, you know, it's like, this is how she rolls out. And it's worked. It's successful. She even did it in 2016 with Batman and Superman. So for her to like change all of a sudden in this like 80s movie, apparently, that's going to hurt it too. Like Captain Marvel, yeah, it's like a time jump back for the universe, but it's her introduction in the 90s. So it's like, okay, whatever. Wonder Woman we saw in World War I, and then go up to current day, and now they're going to go back like 34 years, and so that's going to hurt it too. Like, wait, what the hell's going on?
You know, the problem I had.
Do not follow time travel back and forth. Like, normies get confused about like, hey, this is how you watch Star Wars, and this is when this one. They're like, what? We just saw The Force Awakens. Why is Vader back? You know, like, people are stupid. So this is going to blow up in their face.
You know, the problem I had with the Wonder Woman movie. Well, the main problem I had is that they made this whole motive for her to do what she's here to do for love. And this is coming from a woman, from a hero who has the lasso of truth. You know, and it's like you've missed a very important element of what drives Diana, you know, and it's to promote truth. And it's like, why would she have a lasso of truth and then go, oh, everything I do is for love? It's like, that makes no sense. So, my 2 cents.
No, I agree.
Was that off topic?
No.
Okay.
The moment I was replying to Rev Kev, I was just going to say thanks for coming in the chat. I know I invited him on the stream. He wasn't able to come, but at some point I'm going to get you on another Chaos and just really pick your brain and get to know you better. So look forward to that if you're open to it, Rev Kev. Rhodes, I don't think I got much of your thoughts on this.
I didn't hate the poster. There's a couple of different promotional posters out there. I just thought they tried to play off the 80s color scheme thing. So I didn't read too much into it. I've seen a lot of the like behind the scenes set photos from it. And I think it was mentioned a minute ago. I can't tell that her character is going to be wearing anything like that in this movie. Unless she has some tie-in to Aquaman, but that doesn't make sense in the timelines. Again, we're talking about the timelines getting confusing, and DC's doing that also with the Joker. You know, the Joker is in the 80s, as well.
and the Batman with Robert
in the
Pattinson
90s.
is going to be a trilogy that ties with Joker, but not with. It's not like going to tie with Batflick's Batman apparently. So it's like what? Like this is just the Elseworld series, which is cool, but that DC held off making the Justice League because Dark Knight trilogy was going on at the time. They didn't want to make two Batman. So yeah, I totally agree. I didn't think of those aspects of confusing. I just saw at the time, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I mean it's just sort of all over the place. Now, in fairness, I liked the Wonder Woman movie. I thought it was pretty good. I don't know. How do you guys feel about the DCEU in general? Like, I don't know y'all.
For me, it can be pretty quick for me. I really liked Snyderverse. I didn't really understand that this was like his adaptation of like him taking characters and making them like his own story. I didn't quite understand that. So with like the killing Batman and all this stuff, I was still fine with it. And then I watched 20 minutes of Shazam the other day, and I was like, what? I didn't go see it because I said it looks like Deadpool humor derivative. It looks like crap. I don't like Zachary Levi. It looks stupid. And 20 minutes in, they have like toys of Batman and Superman when literally in Batman Superman, before he dies, they're like protesting at Congress with signs similar to, and I'm quoting, don't flag me to, I'm quoting, this is context. There's the God hates fag signs. They literally copied those for Aliens with Superman. And then he dies, and then all of a sudden now it's like, yeah, we got collector's bullets that actually shot Superman and got crushed, and we got Batman replica boomerangs and stuff, which like his symbol literally got people killed in prison when he branded them. So it's like, why the fuck would people be making like? It makes sense in Iron Man 2 because he's making his own Disney park system, and people are buying Iron Man masks and stuff. And it's just like all over the place, and they didn't retcon Snyderverse. So I'm like, I have no hope in the future. I liked where it started, despite it being off-putting people. I like the serious tone. So yeah, I'm very disappointed now.
I'm a Snyder guy too. Okay. So I'm sort of pissed in the direction that all this is turning. Like everybody loved Aquaman. I didn't like.
I didn't like. No. Don't put me in the category, please.
I like the Snyderverse, but the Aquaman, the vibrant colors and all this sort of thing, that sort of, I guess they're drawing the Marvel crowd in, or they're saying that's how comic book movies are supposed to be. I mean, I'm a Dark Knight trilogy fan, so I want to see that darker, more serious tone in a comic book movie. I like that,
especially DC.
Yeah. And
that's a DC universe. So overall, the comic books in general, it's like there's a little light to it, thanks to the Flash and other characters, but it's mostly a dark universe, at least the meat of it. And then it's
but they're trying to lighten it up like the Marvel universe
into it. But the Marvel universe has always been the way it looks, which is happy-go-lucky, and there's politics that happens sometimes, but it's two different styles. Just stick with what you're really good at. People
you can characterize the Marvel universe as Tony Stark and the DC universe as Batman. So or the Dark Knight.
At least current. Yeah.
I mean, if you're gonna, I'm just generalizing.
I'd say DC... Spider-Man is more Marvel. Spider-Man is really the main meat of what Marvel is at its best.
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
Yeah. The problem I have with DC is that it hasn't figured it itself out yet, what it wants to be, what direction to go. It's like a kid learning how to walk, and it just keeps falling down and getting back up and trying again. My favorite movie out of the DCEU was Man of Steel. I thought that is quintessential Superman. Mm-hmm. That was brilliant. Loved it. And everything that came out after that, I was just like, oh, it fell down the stairs. It's just like, oops. Yeah,
literally sometimes.
But Aquaman, I mean, the thing is, there was no emotional weight to Aquaman. It was just, to me, it reminded me of a bunch of snapshots from the family photo album. And that was about it. They didn't add any weight to it like the brother, he just got away. And I think if they wanted emotional weight, he could have just killed the mom for betraying everything, because his whole focus was about the empire, was all about the kingdom and nothing about family. So that didn't make any sense to me. And it was just an ending that just had no weight. It's just like, oh, okay, everybody lives, and oh, we're supposed to be happy about it.
Right. Angus, you didn't go back and finish Shazam?
No, I really have no interest to. I mean, I might at some point. Maybe I'll do it tonight. I don't know, but I just, I'm really okay. Here's the thing. I'm really good
in the movie.
I'm really good at calling trailers for my taste. Maybe not for yours, but like, okay, a great example with the Phantom Menace. This is also like a big talking point. The Phantom Menace this year, Alita. I saw the trailer last year whenever it came out. I was like, nope. And then multiple people in the fandom was like, this is great. And I should have paid attention. They were using the buzzword about, good female representation, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I've never before, even today, where I talk about like Game of Thrones, for example, is like the two leads, villain and hero up until the bells, is Daenerys and Cersei. And men supported that show to start before it became a big hit. And it's still generally men that are supporting it and did support it. We never complained that women were the leads, You never give in to these people. I never justified liking Alien. Honestly, I liked Alien because of the creature. I didn't care about any person. I wanted to see them die, I'm the dark side kid. I love the creatures and bad guys or bad girls. I never care necessarily about sex for a character being good. I never thought of it till this culture started popping up. So the fact that we were saying shit like that on our side with this movie is like, I should have realized it. But that's an example of, I said I don't want to see it, looks like crap, and then I fell for people saying it was good, and then it was the worst experience in my life going to the theater. Worse than Justice League, which I knew going in was crap. Worse than Ant-Man.
Oh, God.
Pointless.
Ouch.
Hey, what?
Wow.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah,
Ooh.
that's how I felt about Alita, because I got fooled going against my better judgment on two trailers. And I felt this way about Shazam, and then I'm seeing this movie, I'm like, yeah, I was right. This sucks. And again, with that point, like they don't understand the world they're in. The fact that Aquaman kept like Justice League around and didn't just use that movie to like reset the universe, big mistake. You see Shazam, like I said, with that. Also, the villain is set up so simply. Perhaps it's from the comics, I don't know, but there's no care to like let it develop. They show you the kid's origin and they show you the villain's origin with the 8-ball and stuff, and his dad dying. That's his fault, and him failing with the Shazam wizard. And so he's always after this power. And then the first thing they show you of an adult bad guy, whatever his name is the
Mark Strong.
8-ball. There's no question who this guy is right from the start. And it's like you can't just like let people figure it out or learn or like let you like him and then reveal this is the bad guy, like good storytelling. Right. So it's like 20 minutes I'm seeing all the stuff that I never see in movies, that like this
reminds me of the sweatshirts in the Batman series. The guy said, said henchman 1, henchman 2.
You have to spoon feed people now, you don't. Since they're controlling their mind everywhere else, get out the control.
Oh my God, so true.
Dude, honestly, it was kind of confusing. It was kind of confusing watching Dark Knight, and it wasn't because I was like simple or something. It was just like, oh, no one's done that subtly, if you will. But like the bait and switch with the doctors and the clowns in Dark Knight, it took me a while to like catch on to that.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, it was a good switch. Like he didn't quite understand. It's like, oh fuck, that's why. I'm like, why are you tagging them? But yeah, it's like the storytelling's fallen so far from whether you hate it or not, Man of Steel and Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman to now where DC EU is going. And Kristen Wiig as the Cheetah, if that's for real, they're really doing that.
Yeah, it's really her. She's
what
leaked images, I believe, already too.
There's leaked. Oh, let me look this up. I gotta see what this looks like.
Wig. God, I think it's her and the Professor.
Is this for the new Batman movies?
No, Kristen Wiig is in the new Wonder Woman film as Cheetah.
Yeah, she's the Cheetah.
Yeah, she's the Cheetah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I thought she was a Batman character.
Oh my God, this looks fucking awful.
Oh,
yeah, I had some issues
dare I look?
with what they've done so far. I like the fact it's an 80s look. I just don't like the one they picked. That's
I don't hate Kristen Wiig despite her being in, like Bridesmaids and some stupid shit. Like seems like a fine person, despite hit or miss with her comedy. She isn't trying to like fight back and be like, you don't like it because I'm a woman.
She's not in people's faces, which has been.
And and she has little hints of just all around humor, not just woman humor. Like in Anchorman, that shorts character she has. I like that. It's her out of her bubble, so she's got potential. She's got range. But Wonder Woman, I don't see her, especially if like there's some hint at like sexual tension between them. It's like you're gonna pair Gal Gadot with Kristen Wiig.
Oh no,
like,
I hope not.
What?
Yeah,
I don't know. There's going to be a lot of happy virgins out there.
No.
Interesting thing. Gateway into Comics came in here at least for a moment. Let me find his. He said, he's like, dude, great take on Twitter that I saw. EVS announced Mike's post too, so I'll have to look into this on the stream or wherever, with EVS. But essentially, let me try to find it and I'll read this to you. Maybe some of y'all have heard this, but Mike Miller, I'm not a fan of his.
Oh, Mike, what did he do now?
I'm not a fan because someone sent me a copy of Lone Star, and I was excited to read because I know it's like one of the most successful, third or fourth, like probably top 10 for sure, successful Comicsgate projects. Of course, partially
top 5, I think,
to EVS, of course, especially with the second one with the cover, because he boosted like 50 grand with that cover. But reading the first one and Comicsgate supposedly being about apoliticity, in large at least, and he's got like obvious SJW tropes and stereotypes in there for the villains, and I'm like, oh my god. And it's just like the storytelling wasn't good. Maybe that was because of the, what do you call it, the speed or whatever, that he had to put out something to make money for his family. That's something I've heard about from people, so it's like, okay, I'll give him benefit of the doubt. But he posted, I know he's a hard right Christian, and I assume EVS is, even though he holds back, I assume that he has this viewpoint. Let me pull this up and I'll read it to you. Mike essentially tweeted out like hashtag Pride Month or Pride, and he said Pride is a sin, trying to get the gays and whoever else to see this.
Well, technically it's classified as a sin, but probably not in the way the context is being used by the gay community.
Yeah, okay, so it'll take me a minute to scroll down and find this.
But then at one time in our culture, gay actually meant happy, not homosexual.
Yeah, that's true. That's the other part.
I've met a lot of unhappy homosexual people. You're not gay.
that was actually in the Flintstone theme song.
Yeah. That was in a lot of songs from the 20s and 30s too. To be gay and carefree.
That's funny.
Can't say that anymore. Not in that context.
All right, so Mike said Pride is a sin. Period. And then he says hashtag Pride Month. And he says, and I replied, I said, Comicsgate is great because it allows creators to be free to express themselves outside the assigned narrative. Being anti-LBGT because your holy text deems it so is not something I, a bi atheist, see as bigoted. That's one of the things they try to spin, where it's like, if you think your book says this, then you're a bigot. It's like, there's a lot of like, at least, being acculturation that kind of makes you have to go along with this. So it's like, there's no context or if you think that's completely wrong to think that, there's no context or sympathy for the participants of anti-LBGT religion. So I have that stance of understanding being formally Christian. All right. And then I say, because there's a morality you prescribe to, even though I disagree, regardless, this attempt at trolling only hurts your specific brand and size of potential customer. I don't know, but assume Ethan Van Sciver, Caesar, a Mormon Christian, believes non-hetero lifestyle is sinful, but he has the business tact to restrain that potential view because he wants everyone's money, even SJWs. Learn from his style of trolling as he mocks the superficial identifiers and buzzwords, not potential customer identities. You are not Comicsgate on your own, but what you do and say can be generalized on all of us. So there's, I definitely believe there is a free speech. Yeah. There is a level that you have to be cognizant of. Like, there's few of us. All right. So if one person gets seen by all the detractors and they're like, this guy's a bigot, then it's like, Comicsgate's bigots. It's Comicsgate,
Well, you have to
Fox
understand
Well,
that
they
a
like
lot of this
using
stuff.
Mike as that, and he keeps doing it. If you've noticed, they're like, "Oh, look, it's Mike saying something that's gonna upset some people yet again," and he does it because my guess is this: I've only kind of talked to him one time, and it's pretty much he thinks it's gonna sell more books to the side he likes, pretty much, and he doesn't care on the other side. He's like, "Oh, bad PR is fine as PR. It's going to generate buzz." So there's another individual that kind of believes that too. That he might be into worms. I'm not going to touch that one too much. He'll get the hint if he sees it.
With
The problem is that all this attack on both sides of the coin. You've got people attacking SJWs. You've got people attacking, quote unquote normies. It's all fear based. They don't realize that tolerating people for their differences doesn't mean that you are the people that you're tolerating. They can't seem to separate the idea that, okay, I tolerate you because even though you're different from me, no big deal. We can still get along. It's almost like, the cootie principle when you're in grade school. You touch someone, oh my God, you've got cooties, you're just like that person. It's grade school mentality. That's where all this is coming from. And people just haven't grown up mentally and emotionally.
Yeah,
it's like we can get along, we can coexist. We need to get past the grade school mentality in order to do that. But a lot of these shows, commercials, TV, movies, and stuff like that, they're still trying to keep people in the stone age of mental, emotional adulthood. And that's our problem.
Sorry to cut you off, Roger. We got a little bit of time before we switch over and let the Senate take over with.
Hey, I got a quick question for you though.
Yeah.
That you said that you're a bi atheist. Does that mean you go both ways on your belief in God?
Clever.
Sorry, I had to throw it in.
I appreciate the odd humor you have because I wish I had that perception. Sometimes I see shit like The Office and stuff. Some of the angles of humor they have, I'm like, God, because it's a lot of it boils down to like so obvious you don't think that way. We're not programmed that way. So I appreciate that humor, even if it like takes me a minute. But on a serious note, with the tapeworm we're speaking of, he has a lot of the same stances that he's open with, like Mike, but he has a way to him, regardless, at least in my following of him or awareness of him. I've never felt perjured or whatever words you want to use.
Yeah.
I never felt shooed away by him, despite it's like, yeah, I respect your opinion.
Yeah, Doug is very inclusive, but also does a little bit of the outrage marketing, but it's just, he's good. He does it more often. He's good at what it is, at what he does, and he knows how to do it. Whereas Mike needs a lot more practice. I'm just joking with both of you in case you get upset about something I said. But I like.
Well, the other thing,
Doug's problem though is he steps on some toes and doesn't say, "Oh, excuse me," after he does it. That's why he's got the issues he's had over.
Kind of like Sheldon in the Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, it's like, for me, subs aren't everything, but you look at the success of EVS and his connection with Mike Miller, you see, like, I think they've been around about the same amount of time, at least with Comicsgate, and you see the success Mike's had versus EVS, along with the channels, and it's like you see what he covers or what he espouses, which is his right. I don't want him censored or anything, but it's like he's not friendly to new customers. If Mike was the leader of Comicsgate and EVS wasn't around, I don't think Ricky Critic would care to watch his channel and get into comics. And cause this is a new medium for him. It's mostly a new medium for me, thanks to Comicsgate. And I think that's the important thing. It's like, it's like, yeah, we should be able to say what we want, but you also have to have that awareness of like, where are you in the world? You're in Comicsgate because you don't fit the narrative, and you're of an integritous mindset that you won't fall prey to it or be silent or be forced to be silent to stay employed, and that's fine. But now you're on your own, and so you got to attract people. You at least got to build up, like, you got to. It's not lying if you're restraining. truths, you know, like, I mean, get everyone's money, fool everyone if you want before you feel confident enough to say X. I don't know. It's just, yeah, he's off-putting with his stuff, you know. There's certain things with EVS I won't agree with, but generally I do, honestly. But you know, I've never felt pushed away by any of the other creators I've come across. Even Vox Day, I've read a little bit of that SJW book, or whatever, and he did, and it's like, I don't feel shooed away from this introduction of reading, you know. So I don't know about him as the person, but yeah, that's the problem, and also just the quality of work that I've seen. Not impressed. So.
Well, he really likes spaghetti and he really likes eggs. So, yeah, Fox did interesting things he's into.
Rhodes Rants, I want to get your opinion before we go on comics in general. If you have, I don't know how much you cross over.
Yeah, you're asking me something I just don't know much about, to be honest with you.
That's fine.
So you might want to, yeah.
I'm still in the dark about, like, you know, because like work campaigns allowed me in and stuff, and I appreciate that, and I really value them. I try to get them on streams here and there. I try to get Wenger on multiple streams, but it hasn't worked time wise. I think we're in different zones too.
I am so busy that I'm just like, I try to get on, do 1 or 2 videos a day, upload them, and like get off. I mean, I'm out of there. You know, I'm trying to run a business, and I just like I've been trying to get on this stream for a while.
Yeah, we've been talking for like 2 months or more trying to get you on.
I haven't been able to get my business schedule worked out where I could get on. I mean, hell, one night I was supposed to come on. I literally fired somebody. Like, at the time I was supposed to be on the stream, I was firing somebody out in the field. So I was like, yeah, it you know, I'm trying to grow YouTube, but it is just, you know, I'm still trying to balance life with it. You know what I mean?
Make sure you get that cane knife back.
Yeah.
It was a joke. Sorry. You fired someone out in the field. It's like, get that cane knife back.
Well, I don't have anybody working for me right now, so I'm whipping my own ass out there.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, but Senate asked, and if anyone else is interested, I think you can still purchase Cyberfrog, but it's gone to print as far as I know, so we're just waiting for it to start shipping, and then the campaign will close, I think. And he's also got the Vampirella cover, and of course he's pushing the boycott for Christopher Priest. I hope to go to my comic shop locally and ask them, hey, get me a copy of Vampirella. I want to be on the pull list for it. Support Christopher Priest, because he's a common sense, takes no shit liberal, so I appreciate that. He didn't get trapped with that 2 genders crap that they try to pin him on, you know, and it was great how he got out of it. We didn't really get out of it, just, you know, put him in his place. But I appreciate all y'all coming in the chat, appreciate the panel, appreciate Thomas Gilkey becoming my first patron at the Sith level. So he offered a good question of discussion for us with YouTube. Look forward to the next stream, next PreSenate him offering perhaps another question as well. Support the channel if you want. I have some links in the description. Also, I have link for at the top for the GoFundMe for the Fandom to start creating works. This fund is going towards Rookie Critic and Josiah Rises, with 2 different goals, 2 different types of production. Rookie with YouTube, small collaborative works, and Josiah wants to, this will probably go investing towards his project that he's working on, trying to collaborate with animators at the moment. But yeah, I'm gonna let the panelists plug their channels, get you to come to their channel, and then I'll send you on over to Sith Kryptonians, the Senate. Let's see, we'll start with DJD.
Well, hopefully everyone enjoyed today's show. It was quite fun. I know I liked it. Everyone seemed quite nice. And yes, it's kind of, this is what I do. I talk like this. But that's not really my voice. My voice is much closer to Mr. Movie Phone, where I press 1 and tell people, hey, go watch Wonder Woman if you like rainbows and fish. And things like that of that nature. Sometimes I start, I sense much fear in you. Why is everything going all weird? This is going to be a very strange month, I believe. Sir, I mean, if this is the way it started, oh my God. And possibly it's because there might be some forced lightning, so I'll do this. I'll shove it up someone's area. I'm not gonna say where. Maybe it's. Can we say butt? Yeah, sure. It's a cigarette butt. That's what it is. And I'll read the news while holding certain Palpatine's voice. And so, for example, drunk 3PO, the news on him is, oh, look, he got monetized. Well, isn't that special, Mr. Goldenrod over here? It took you long enough, you drunk, fun person, you. All right, good job there. It was like, oh, maybe I should go ask YouTube directly. Maybe that was a good idea, big guy. All right, just joking with you. So pretty much that's what I do on my show. I roast people, and I might do some voices a little bit.
I love the voices. Yeah, I appreciate you coming on. I definitely want to get you on more shows, especially. It's enlightening seeing that you're in Comicsgate and War Campaign as well. Love getting gay at the War Campaign. Roger, speaking of gays, tell us about
Yes. There's really not much to tell. I mean, my area of focus is really about consciousness expansion and meditation, working with the natural elements and whatnot, going deeper into what's perceived as the human psyche. So that's my channel on Quentin Lars, and I have a lot of videos that help people kind of work through stuff. My Twitter channel, however, is the opposite end of that spectrum. It's more like wacky, crazy me that you hear on, podcasts every now and again. Iron Wolf 1970. That's really about the year I was born, and that was my Chinese animal. I was actually born year of the dog, a metal dog. So
wait. So
I have more.
So Mars is one channel, and then Iron Wolf is another. Is that what you're telling me?
Well, Iron Wolf is like my Twitter. It's kind of like my other thing. So it's like my yin and my yang. So
I really think I was going to say really quick. I really think you should perhaps, because I'm always waiting for more stuff from you. I love you and Biv's streams, especially when you did Glass. I really wanted to be on that panel listening to y'all. I was like, man, there'd be so much harmony in that stream, at least, because I love Glass. But I really think you should try to do more of that, just to like you have a goal, an agenda. Not that's not a negative word, but you have an agenda to enlighten people with your take. I think you should perhaps use film, fiction, etc., to draw people in to at least analyze the world or understand it from your point of view and people like you, just to give them something different.
Interesting point. That was something that Drunk 3PO and I actually talked about doing. It just hasn't, come to life yet. But yeah, that's a good point. It's something that my wife and I have discussed as well. We batted around the idea. We kind of went through a move, so things kind of got messed up for us in terms of living. So we're renting out a room right now and trying to get a fix on where we're going to go from here. So I think once we get settled in a semi-permanent situation, we'll start looking at that again. And I love coming on live streams and chatting with you guys. It's a lot of fun. I learn a lot, and of course I have my input. So it's always a joy to be on people's streams. Not those kind of streams.
I love hanging out with you. I love talking to you off air. People don't realize this, but at least in my opinion, like Fandom Minutes, I'm always trying to make real relationships with people. So like Rookie Critic flipped out, especially Red Gaze recently, a newer channel I found. Roger here and there when I realized, oh fuck, Roger's in different time zone. I can talk to him at work. I like to try to build real relationships, even with Proper Jeremy. I know. Proper Jeremy of all people. Yeah, even him.
Yeah, he's very annoying. Man, it was God, those months dealing with him.
He's kind of like a puppy. He's still working things out.
You can blame
me and
a few people, Mr. Peabody and Frank, the Wiener Dog Clan, as to why Proper Jeremy exists. It's our fault.
Yeah,
it was a mistake. Barry Mayhem is the creation of Proper Jeremy and myself, so that was also a mistake. Yeah, we're screwed up. It's not a good idea. I'm joking, Mary. I'm joking.
Yeah. Lastly, Rhodes rants on Star Wars. Can you say the line? Say the line, please.
Yeah. Okay, this is for you. I'm back. Rants on Black Angus Reviews channel. If you like his videos, like and subscribe. Join Black Angus Squadron.
Oh, no. It's actually the Black Angolian Army. When I started making the Patreon, I was watching Black Panther. So yeah, doing the Black Angolian
You're
Army.
going to have to send me a cue card then next time. So,
No, dude. Oh, man, I'll definitely get you to make me an intro sometime. Yeah, tell us about your channel, why we need to subscribe and go over and watch your content.
I do real news, opinions, commentary, reactions. You never know what the hell may pop up on my channel. I try to stick to pop culture, Star Wars, whatever, and then sometimes I just do videos on whatever the fuck I feel like. Whatever will make me happy that day. So
I just subscribed.
Yeah, awesome. Well, welcome aboard. Thanks for joining the Road Squadron.
I was there before you got to 100.
Oh, plank owner.
Well, all of you pretty much before you got to 100, you freaking noobs.
Yeah.
You know what? I was actually the first subscriber to Drunk 3PO.
Yeah, you already hit the chat though on Twitter, right? So it's kind of a cheat.
What's that?
You had insider knowledge though, didn't you?
I did. Yeah. I should go to jail. I had insider knowledge.
No, I just got this message on my comment on my dashboard on my studio. I guess they saw my thumbnail and said, "I'm just here for my cherry crush." Anyone of you don't know, two of the ladies in my new intro are, to some degree, I don't know what else they do, but I know them from porn. The girl with the bunny ears, she is a solo artist, but she also models. So my tattoo from artist Menton3, he's like just an odd goth artist. She posed for that. So she's also like an art model. And then my cherry crush is, just as far as I know, a porn star. So yeah, the doggy eared girl in the beginning of my new intro, that is actually a porn star that I like. I totally
missed that, but whenever I look at your logo, I think of Fruit Loops.
No, not my logo. No, my intro.
Your intro. Okay. Your intro.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. I'm with you now.
That is, I'm just like, woohoo! Someone knew who it was. I wasn't have to inform them. It's like, yeah, I'm trying to build some camaraderie from that. But no, thanks for coming. Those still in the chat, thanks for my panelists. Appreciate it. Definitely, I'm here every Friday, barring something coming up, and I inform you on Twitter. 6:30 to usually 8:20. And try to do Wednesday streams. I might have Jesse Milestone on Wednesday to interview for Utter Chaos. So look forward to that if that happens. And go check out my last stream I did with John Talks, Red Gaze, and a new comic skater with a new project coming out. Wyatt Holiday of Ardana, issue number 0. And I also have a clip that you can watch just to see how fun and crazy that stream got. Talk about digital dicking. If you don't know what that is, go check out that stream and find out. Thanks. Talk to y'all later.
Bye-bye.